What's your y'all? Well, we'll continue on with our daily stakes play for Saratoga and talk about Saturday's featured event, the Diana. It's a Grade 1, 11th race on the card, running a mile and an eighth on the inner turf for 4-year-olds and up, fillies and mares. Small field, but very, very good field. Um, this is, I'd say I spent a lot of time in this race. This is really one of those that there's so many different ways to go. Um, and we really had to split hairs to separate the wheat from the chaff here. It's a real just a really good field. I mean, it's just there's only six, but you can almost make a case for all of them. And we'll just go through them one at a time. Be Your Best is who I'm going to take to win this. She's in excellent form. Loves Saratoga. The track has been speed favoring. Now, what I would suggest is that there has been some rain this week that may soften things up a little bit. And if that is the case, maybe it won't be quite as speed favoring as it has been. Um, but I'm going more on. I just think usually in these smaller fields, it is sometimes a little easier for a horse to get on the lead and go all the way. This just one's just in really good form, and um, it's not necessarily that the race shape sets up for it, as maybe we've got some vulnerability on the horses who might give her a challenge up amongst the leaders, and that's really the only. That's the defining characteristic for me. Again, it's just a really hard race to settle on. So basically, what you're left with is you just sort of have to plant your flag, and um, because this is a deep field, I mean, She Feels Pretty is the even money on the morning line, and deservedly so. This is a hell of a good filly. Ever since they put blinkers on this horse, she's just been lights out. And this is third off the layup for Cherie DeVoe, but there's a couple of things, and again, this is splitting hairs and um, trying to find just a way to beat the favorite more than anything else, particularly in this small field. She Feels Pretty. The last two races, no, these have been at 4 years old, and so this is a big. She certainly passed with flying colors at Churchill Downs in her debut, um, to prove that she hasn't lost anything from 3 to 4, and certainly going against older horses isn't going to be a problem. So that wasn't the issue at all. The second start is where I kind of wonder a little bit because, first of all, it wasn't nearly as good a field as you have here, I don't think. Secondly, she didn't win the race with authority. I mean, she won it, but it wasn't as impressive as the debut. But the thing about it more than anything else was she was a little rank. And they had to kind of restrain her in her debut race this year a little bit, more so in the second race. So my theory is that number one, Cherie DeVoe's barn isn't going the greatest right now, and secondly, I'm just wondering if She Feels Pretty is going to be a little too sharp for this race. And if that's the case, particularly if you see her in the paddock, you see those signs that she's maybe going to be a little rank or a little keen or a little just keyed up, then maybe trying to chase Be Your Best around the track wears her out a little bit, and it sets things up for other horses to come in behind. And that's really what I'm going on more than anything else. I'm not. She Feels Pretty could certainly win this race. I mean, if she runs to where runs the way she normally can and has this year, she's going to have a really good shot at it. I just think she needs to take another step forward, and I don't know necessarily this is the time for it. Perhaps a little later in the year, but that's all I'm going on. And again, splitting hairs, to just trying to find a way, and that's the case I'm going to make. Now, Choicia at Keeneland basically had everything her own way in the Jenny Wiley. Got the rail, got saved all the ground. Excellent Truth was probably the better horse that day because she encountered some traffic, couldn't get free, and once she did, finished second. Choicia again, saved all the ground on the rail and drew off and was impressive without a doubt. But her next start was not impressive, and I really couldn't find much of a reason except for perhaps the turf was there was some give in it. It was yielding. It's interesting to find a European horse who you look back on her past performances and she doesn't do terribly well when it's yielding or the turf is soft. And I don't know if that was necessarily the reason. It just wasn't a very good effort. And what it tells me is that perhaps coming off the jet in the Jenny Wiley, she ran a peak effort and maybe there was a bounce there. Uh, Nonetheless, I mean, I think that the turf will be more agreeable. I think Choicia will run better this time, but I'd never like to get excited about horses who have everything their own way, win a race, and then come right back and can't muster even a finish in the money. So I still have some questions about Choicia, and for that reason, I'm just not going to use 8-1 is a pretty good price, but I'm going to let her beat me. Lady Claypool is coming in from the West Coast, and of course we know what that means, especially on the turf. But this horse really likes a mile and an eighth, and is 5 for 6 in the money for Richard Baltus, and he's got a win already shipping in. So we're gonna throw Lady Claypool in at 20-1. I think she's probably a little better than that. In the 6 horse field, anything can happen. So I think under only is where we're going to use her, but I'm going to give her a shot. So we come to Excellent Truth. Now, you got 2 second place finishes in a row. That's true. However, the last one was at a mile, and I'm not so sure that that's the best distance for Excellent Truth. I think a mile and an eighth is. More ground should suit this horse very well. And if anybody's going to run down Be Your Best, if she feels pretty is not at her optimum, which I think is going to be the case, I like Excellent Truth a lot, and that would be my second choice for sure. The we dynamic pricing was the other Chad Brown last time. I think this time it's Excellent Truth. Dynamic pricing, I think is better at a mile. I've never really been a big fan of this horse, in full disclosure, to be honest. And I think it was more a question of the distance last time than it was anything else. I think dynamic pricing is probably more a mile. If you recall, go back to Chad Browns of the past, and I believe White Beam was one of them that at this distance at a mile and an eighth was a better horse than at a mile, or Chili Flag was better at a mile, and but not so much at a mile and an eighth. So you do get into again another splitting hairs type of scenario. Which Chad Brown do you take? I'll take the one I think is better at a mile and an eighth, and that would be Excellent Truth. So our wagering strategy, and again, I want to be real clear about this. This is just trying to make sense of a race that's really tough and I think is pretty wide open. We're going to go with Be Your Best to take them all the way. She's in good form. I think had quite a bit of pace pressure last time, and the fractions were too quick. I think she's not going to have that this time. It'll be able to settle, and that should mean a good race. So we'll take Be Your Best to win at 6-1. Then we'll do exactas with 6-4, Excellent Truth as our primary one, and then we'll throw one in She Feels Pretty, 6-1, and then trifecta 6 with 1-4, 1-4, and then 6 with 1-4 and 3. Don't want to get too fancy. You certainly could go put the all button in for third place. You could do it for second. It's a tough race. But if so we're just going to take our shot and hope for the best. It should be a lot of fun to watch, whatever the outcome. So that's the Diana. Hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. I wish you the best of luck as always. And certainly if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. Thanks to all of you. Continue to grow the community. We're going to do this, as we mentioned, for every day at Saratoga. There's a featured stakes race, so we'll have an individual posting on that. We will have the late pick 5, which includes the Bowling Green as well. And so you be on the lookout for that. And full card selections, if the website is up and running, I will likely put them there with best bets, value plays, all that stuff. Otherwise, we will have it available for you here. So one way or the other, it'll be available to you. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.